Evile are currently on tour, and we've managed to catch the band while they were playing in London. Here we are with Ben Carter, the band's drummer, to have a chat with him. Hello, Ben.
Hello, how are you doing?
Okay, thank you.
Good.
So, if I'm not mistaken, this is actually the first proper tour to promote Hell Unleashed, right? Although it's been out for a year.
Yep, it is the first proper tour. Obviously, because of restrictions with COVID, we weren't allowed to tour when the album launched. So, doing a tour for an album that's nearly 11 months old. Well, to us it's a bit longer, isn't it? But released nearly a year ago, so yeah, it's a bit weird.
Yeah, so first, you took 5 years to make the album due to various issues, changing lineup, etc. And then, when it was ready, you couldn't put it out. So that must have been very frustrating.
It was frustrating, yeah. I mean, we had obviously the time before, like I said, self-imposed hiatus for one reason or another with the band. And then COVID hit, so that was another 2 years. So it's been like purgatory really for us. But we got there in the end.
So the most important change is that All has is singing now with the band.
That's right,
so
yeah.
How has that transition been from guitarist to frontman?
Well, he's still playing guitar, but it's just that thing of now he has a lot more things to think about, and his duties have kind of quadrupled in the band. But no, it was quite an easy transition because it was easier than the other choice, which was getting someone completely new that the fans wouldn't be familiar with. So for us, it was all about making it as easy for them as it was for ourselves. All knew all the lyrics anyway, and it was quite a natural thing, really. It was the only way we could have logically done it and gone forward in the turnaround time we had.
You've played many countries, continents, festivals, gigs, but which of these shows do you remember most fondly?
Oh, I loved our American run. We went to America in 2010.
With Overkill?
Yeah, with Overkill, and we were out there with Forbidden, Vader, God Dethroned.
Wow.
A lot of bands, I've forgotten some. But yeah, we were there for a long time. I think we were there for like 5 months in 2010. We did a run in the spring, and then we came back to do the European Festival circuit, and then we went straight back over to the States in early September, and we didn't come back till the 23rd of December, I think.
Yeah, you should be playing with Overkill again later this year.
Yeah,
so
yeah, it's been postponed unfortunately, but we're going to be out with Overkill next year now, 2023. We've got a little run of Ireland dates with them, and fingers crossed we might be taking it into Europe as well, if it works.
So Hell Unleashed is the first album you've done with release with Napalm Records after having spent such many years with Eric.
That's right.
So are you pleased with how things are going?
Definitely, yeah. They've been fantastic to us, and for them to even look twice at us after we've had so much time away, and the kind of adversity that the band's had to go through internally.
They were understanding him.
Very much so, yeah. And as soon as we said that we'd got demos and could we send them over? They were more than interested, and the conversation only lasted maybe 10 minutes before they realised that we'd got a good album under our belt to sell, and they were very interested. They've treated us very well. They've treated us like we've never been away, and they've been very respectful with how we've wanted to do business.
The themes of Evile songs have always been tends to focus on horror tales. But in this, Hell Unleashed, you wrote a song about one specific horror film, The Thing, right?
Thing, yeah.
So how come you chose that film?
It's the original from 1982. It's all collectively one of our favourite horror movies ever, so it was a no-brainer to not write about that. Would have been a travesty. And the imagery in the movie and everything and how it progresses, it makes such good subject matter. So that's why we went for that one. But we had to put 1982 in brackets after it, so it's not confused with the remake or the prequel that came out in the 2000s, which is absolutely abysmal. So we wanted to step away from that one and go back to the Kurt Russell one.
Too many remakes. Laziness, I think rather than create something from scratch.
For us, collectively, we always say that the best horror films are the ones done with proper practical effects and instead of CGI. And the the one that came after with the CGI is absolutely woeful. It just
What about
takes away so
the Evil
much.
Dead? They remade it, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think they did. Yeah.
So speaking about horror films, which other, say, 2 or 3 other films which you really like?
I've always been a fan of the Hellraiser series, and any version of what's it called? I like Poltergeist. Those series of movies are great. Amityville Horror. Any version of that, I think that is a classic, like midtown haunting story. It can be retold with any bunch of actors, any decade, and it still makes a good movie.
Yeah, I absolutely. Hell Unleashed has been out for about a year now, so presumably you had a chance to write new material.
That's right.
Is that the case? Can
definitely.
you tell me more about that?
We're ongoing with the writing for album 6. We had to, purely because we don't want to leave the fans waiting another 5 years to have more Evile material, but also for ourselves. We want to stay busy. We want to keep the name of the band snowballing and keep that visibility and make fans reassured that we aren't going away this time. We're sticking around this time around.
And will you be showcasing some of that material in the store? Have you been doing it?
No, not for the upcoming album. No, but it's still early days for that. There's riffs being fired around and song structures are being put in place, but
we're still in embryonic stage.
Very much so. Yeah, it's still formative. Yeah, but we're hoping to get that kind of recorded maybe towards the end of the year, if not early 2023. Ready for an April-May release, depending on what the labels say. So, but they're very much on board with it, so that's a good sign.
Excellent. And there was also you recorded the cover of Mortician, right?
We did, yeah.
Death metal band. So I was curious. So as a drummer, how much does death metal influence the way you play?
You have to draw influence from so many different genres. You can't just be like. You can't take all your influence from one. So I've always listened to other genres of music.
For example?
One of my favourite bands is Heart from the 80s.
Heart, okay.
I play in a 50s rock and roll band with my dad and my big sister. So I have to play like a style of rock and roll drumming and swing drumming. So I try and incorporate all my influences into my playing, not just...
And that helps you playing.
It helps you understand stuff and feel things a little bit differently. But in terms of the death metal influence, all I had to do is kind of tighten my hands and my feet up and increase the tempos a bit. I mean, thrash isn't that too far removed from death metal, I don't think, anyway, in terms of what a drummer has to do. But the song that we chose, we knew we'd be able to cover it sympathetically and make it fit in and amongst Evile stuff.
And speaking about this subject, how far are you willing to experiment with Evile's music? How incorporate new things?
If it works, then we'll try it. We've never been ones for like retreading old ground. We always say we want to try new things and do it our way. So going forwards, we might throw something really proggy out there, or we might really strip things back and make it a lot more commercial. We don't know until we try it, and we know it's right when it happens. So you just have to go through it and see what works. But then we're very conscious as well that it has to sit with the older material. So there's always that tie to it in the back of our heads.
Evile have planned once this tour is over, the rest of the year? Any festivals, for example?
Yeah, we're playing a festival in Holland in mid-March, and then in April we go to do some shows with Chrysix and Dustbolt. Towards I think maybe November time, we've been speaking about going to South America to play a festival there, but then if we do that, it makes sense for us to stay over in the States and do a United States run. So that's
do you have
what I think.
A strong following there?
Yes, we do. Yeah, massively, and it's a place we've never been, South America. So
well, thrash is always very popular in South America.
Of course. We had a chance a few years back to go and do some shows with Sepultura down there, but it didn't come to fruition for whatever reason. But it'd be nice to get there under our own steam and, draw people away.
Fantastic, Ben. Thanks a lot for that brief chat.
Thank you very much.
Best wishes for the band.
I appreciate it. Thank you, dude.